They didn't even sign in. They wouldn't even tell us who they were. But they sat in the back with their little pads, and we got to meet one or two of them. And it was a pleasant shock, one of those aha moments, when after the victory of Bill Clinton in 1992, during the transition period, he announced, I remember it was on a Saturday, because the phones all began buzzing, he said, we're going to start 100 community development banks around the country. And that was our language, that was our idea, that was something we had hatched in the office, and that went on to become the Community Development Financial Institutions Fund, which also offered me a job that I didn't take, because I there were lots of opportunities to do different things, but the Federation really was home. I did get into a pattern where I would just kind of, for a couple of weeks in the summer, I would just get in the car and drive. And I would stop at credit unions along the way. And it was ostensibly for, we got rid of the newsletter pretense, and now I was a program officer. And this was just to find out what was going on, so we could report back to the funders, we could talk to the political people, and there even was, especially when Annie Vamper grew ill, there really was also a need to try and provide some version of technical assistance, which I did in the following manner. I would encounter somebody who had a problem in Philadelphia. A couple of hours later, while driving to North Carolina, I would call somebody. I would call somebody that I had met. I would call California, or I would call Florida, or I would call New York, or I would call the next person on the person at the next stop, and I would say, "What would you do if your ratio?" There seems to be a problem in some of our credit unions where, and I would describe the problem, and they would tell me the answer. And this was a transferable skill. I mean, I know how to write down things. The one thing they teach you as a journalist, how to write down things accurately and convey the information to someone else. And so it became kind of a way to hold things together. And it was also a very important learning experience for me.